First-time buyers lining up to buy. Stamp duty decimates buy-to-let landlords. Another day, another dollar. No, euro. No, pound sterling. I'm your host, Matthew Moody, and today, welcome to another exciting episode of Property TV, where we go behind the scenes of the property industry to find out what those fiendishly clever first-time buyers have been doing and why the Chancellor has it in for the buy-to-let landlords. Stay tuned and keep watching. Hello and welcome back to Property TV, behind the scenes of the latest industry headlines. Now, if you've not subscribed to our page already, why the hell not? What's going on with you? Subscribe now. Thank you very much. I'll keep waiting. All right, play ball. Personally, I prefer Tic Tacs because they're more refreshing. So, after the financial crisis of 2007 and 2008, the government sought ways to re-energise the housing market. Mortgage payment rates have been dropped significantly, literally a decade of the lowest interest rates in history. Plus, they have encouraged the purchase and building of new homes, or so they say. Well, let's investigate exactly what they have done. Buy-to-let landlords with mortgages have been the biggest beneficiaries of low interest rates and high mortgage relief over the past decade. However, this all ended in April 2017, when the Chancellor decided it was enough, and he planned to phase out mortgage relief by 2020. Now, our favourite Chancellor, of course, Mr. Hammond. I pointed to him again. I love Hammond. You know what I love most about him? The fact that he basically fucked over our entire country, and now he's the editor of the Evening Standard. Awesome! So now he can report on the news or do whatever his masters tell him to do. We've made a boo-boo. Hammond wasn't the Chancellor at the time. It was our friend Osborne. Come on, we've got to get these facts right, my friend. I do apologise. Script writers. Give me the script writers. Get them here now because it's shit. And Mr. Hammond is not my favourite Chancellor. I take it all back. Mr. Osborne is my favourite Chancellor of all time. I love him dearly and wish he would come to tea. Anyhow, his opinion was, let's get rid of mortgage interest relief for private landlords and let's scrap it by 2020. So effectively, this means the amount of income tax relief landlords can get on residential property finance will be restricted to the basic rate of tax. Now, what does this actually mean in reality? It means that you take your rental income and you add it to your mortgage, as opposed to the normal accounting principles anywhere in the Western world, and probably even the Eastern world as well, to be fair, is take your turnover, minus your costs, and then you pay profit on that. But no, the government doesn't want that because they want to force out the small-time landlord, which I think is a big, big mistake because the institutional investors are only interested in one thing. Money, money, money! And that's it. You know, they may say they're interested in customer value, but they're only really interested in shareholder value, and that's driven by money. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in this space because right now the buy-to-let market has plummeted dramatically. But we'll come back to that in just one moment because who has benefited from this is one group of clappy, happy people. First-time buyers, because they, after all, are a huge amount of people who like voting for the government. Fresh mints, less than 2 calories per mint. So that means my PT might be okay with me eating just one of these little Tic Tacs. Or he may say, actually, you can't do that. I'll tell you what, I'll ask him and I'll report back next week. Now, stamp duty breaks introduced last November for first-time buyers. Anything below £300,000, you don't have to pay stamp duty anymore, which is a considerable saving. And the new Chancellor, because apparently this was his idea, Philip Hammond, said 60,000 people so far have benefited from the break. And remortgaging levels have also spiked as homeowners sought to protect themselves from further interest rate rises. Apparently, we are at a 19% increase, 9-year high of people remortgaging in January. And by contrast, buy-to-let levels are down significantly, actually down 5% year on year, because of the stamp duty changes for buy-to-let landlords, which actually added another 3% on. You see where we're going with this? You see where we're going with this? Landlords, 5 million of them, who cares what they vote? First-time buyers, yay! First-time buyers, yay! A storm is coming. A storm is on the horizon. It's the rise of the buy-to-let landlord. They're coming for you. Hide, hide. They'll take our houses from us. But we will never give up. However, as a result, there was a record number of first-time buyers in January 2018, the highest number since 2007, due to low interest rates and the cut to stamp duty, boosting obviously the number of new homeowners. However, everything isn't necessarily as rosy as we think. Let's look at London as a case in point. Basically, London's fucked. Just get out. There we go. Where to start? London, huge hotspot. It's basically like a burning football. It's all over the place. With average rents nearing £1,600 per month per household, that is a pretty sizable chunk for anyone to pay. However, when a survey was done recently, 2/3 of those under 30 expressed their interest in owning their own home. It's a lovely turn of phrase, because obviously if you asked anybody, would you like to own your own home? They'd probably say, yes, I'd like to own my own home, wouldn't they? Duh. Anyhow, prices of households did reduce in some areas by 9 to 12%. And if the senior content producer introduces once more, he will be fired. Okay, it's all quiet now. The people I have to work with. I bet Tom Cruise don't have any of this shit when he's filming. Anyhow, 24,500 first-time buyers did buy houses in January 2018, marking a rise of 7% versus the previous year, and the strongest figure for 11 years. And Brian Murphy at brokerage firm the Mortgage Advice Bureau said, this points to a solid start for the UK property market in 2018. First-timers tend to underpin the rest of the market, which was evidenced by the corresponding increase of those borrowing to move home. I've got to stop because that is Jeremy. Hold on. No, it isn't. Now, unsurprisingly, London was found to be the least affordable place to live, with average prices to get into a property at £518,178, meaning the deposit needed was £77,727, which is pretty huge no matter where you're coming from. Now, UK Finance, the successor to CML, actually said that the age of the average first-time buyer is now 30, with an average income of 41,000. However, Richard Bloom thinks that that's not really an average salary, and he's saying that typically a lot of these people that are now actually buying are not really typical, and he believes that the size of the deposit that they're putting down actually points towards the bank of mum and dad, and it probably is the case for most people in the younger generation. So what does this all mean? Effectively, if you're a first-time buyer, this is the time to buy. Make hay while the sun shines, because the stamp duty reduction could be removed at any time. And remember, the government wants your vote, so do buy a property and vote for them. You didn't hear it from me, but that's just my opinion. For buy-to-let landlords, effectively, you're screwed. So sell up now or corporatise. There are the two options available to you. And if you do live in London, then make sure you have some wealthy parents that can help you with the deposit, because prices just keep going up and up and up. And surprisingly enough, the large landowners have not released all the land that they own. Let's look into that TFL, just for one. So thanks very much for joining us for another scintillating episode of Property TV. We've enjoyed having you with us as usual. I do hope you enjoyed it immensely. And remember, we believe in give and take here. I give my time and effort, they take away my freedom and my dignity. Goodbye and adios.